Hey, welcome. I've got my Bear Bryant hat on. I've also got my beautiful wife, the lovely Leigh Dakich. We call her LLRD for those of you that don't know, and that's the lovely Leigh Dakich. Leigh is a great mother, a wonderful wife. That's first and foremost. But also, Leigh, All-American softball player, took the Toledo Rockets to the College World Series, where she was an All-American, alternate on the United States Olympic team, all-time winningest coach at two schools as a softball coach, Bowling Green State University and Syracuse University, and now is my wife and a broadcaster for ESPN College Softball and the Big Ten Network College Softball.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you remember all of that?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
You embellish a little bit, but I like it.
What was the embellishment?
Well, no, you're right. I was an alternate for the Olympic team.
I didn't say on the Olympic team. Usually I do.
Yeah. Back in 1996.
Yeah.
Long time ago. But
how many times have you walked in an airport and somebody said, "You look like Jennifer Aniston"?
It started happening as I got older. So it's been really weird. Like once I turned like 30, 35, I don't know if she became, with Friends and stuff, more popular and whatever and other movies, but happens all the time. I had a lady at Target the other day that wanted to take a picture with me because she wanted to show her friend that I looked like Jennifer Aniston. I'm not Jennifer Aniston, but she just wanted to show her friend that I looked like her.
What's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is, I changed it.
Yeah.
I think it's at Coach LLRD.
Yeah.
I changed it. It used to be at Coach at Syracuse, I think. At Coach Ross at Syracuse. At SU, yeah. And
when you go right down the middle is a picture of Leigh and a picture of Jennifer Aniston that they had. I think Jennifer Aniston gets asked all the time, "Are you Leigh Dakich?"
I know. So what's the difference? What happened at a certain point in both of our lives that she went that way and made millions and millions, and I kind of went,
No, you're with this?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, boy. How could you not?
True.
I think you got better of it.
You're right.
She doesn't have a husband.
No,
She's got money.
Right, money
but her
can't
life's
buy
a
you
pain
love.
in the ass. You and I go out to dinner. The paparazzi only bothers me. You slide into the back, get us a glass of wine. All right, let's talk some things. I said this earlier. The other day, I mean, when did everybody become a frickin' expert on everybody else's business? You were working the other day. UPS guy comes in, gives you a half hour on ivermectin or whatever the hell it is. When did everybody do this?
It's not even that he gave a lecture. He didn't know anything. Like, I feel like everyone, I want to blame social media because I think we blame everything on social media, and here we are on social media.
Yeah, but we got to be tougher than social media.
I feel like people don't want to take the time to actually learn anything for themselves or listen to both sides. They don't want to take the time. They just want to, whatever their favorite personality said or whatever they had heard somewhere, they're just going to spit that back out. Nobody wants to take time to actually look into, the whole Aaron Rodgers listening to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's not a dumb man. He's an intelligent guy, and he talks to a lot of different people from all walks of life. I think that's the thing. People don't want to talk to people from all walks of life anymore. They don't want to digest a whole bunch of information and then use it for their own best interest.
Would you agree with this? And we haven't really talked about this. I think that people, when they disagree, in the Aaron Rodgers case, they don't want to disagree with what he actually said. Right. They want to pick something to attack him, meaning, every dumbass should listen to Joe Rogan. Right. Instead of saying, well, what did Aaron Rodgers really say? We do this all the time.
Right.
We don't form our own opinion and have meaningful discussion. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know where to start to look. So either they don't have time. I mean, think about the average American. They're probably, especially, working hard.
I think the average American is sitting on their ass on social media all day.
Yeah, well,
nobody's working.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying they don't want to take the time to actually do any kind of research. So the easy thing is to follow the crowd, the narrative of, somebody said Aaron Rodgers is an idiot because he listened to Joe Rogan. Instead of going, wait a minute, what did Joe Rogan say? Maybe take the time. So I listened to Joe Rogan, and one episode I listened to was Bernie Sanders. This was way back during the Democratic nominations. And I listened to Bernie Sanders. I never would have listened to Bernie Sanders more than a little clip on TV. It was an hour and a half discussion, and I thought, okay, I get where Bernie Sanders is coming from. Doesn't mean I'm going to vote for Bernie Sanders. No, but I understood, and I can see why he believes what he believes. It just opened up my eyes to a different type of discussion, and nobody wants to do that anymore. I don't know if it's we feel like we're not smart enough, or or we're too lazy. I don't know.
Lazy.
You think you're lazy?
I do, because like on my show once in a while I'll say something because you listen to Glenn Beck.
Yeah.
And you don't genuflect at the altar of anybody.
No.
Except for, but Glenn Beck, as soon as you say, well, I listen to Glenn Beck, what do people say?
Oh, they immediately think that I'm. Yeah,
oh, you're whacked out.
But I listen to other people too.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And I try to. We listen to Howard Stern.
Right.
Right. You listen to other people, and you kind of take what you think works for you and your life, and you take what doesn't work for you, and then you form your own opinion. And I think that I don't know. I think we're lazy. I think it is.
Is it social media in your mind? Because you pay attention to social media. You're not promoting anything. You're not really that active on social media.
Right.
You read, and okay. Do you think it's why does everybody feel the need to not only have an opinion's fine, obviously, but then why do everybody feel the need to criticize everybody else's opinion? What is our need to interject ourselves into everybody else's life? Where does that, is that all social media?
I think that's who we are as humans. Like it's a status thing. It's like I know it's like, I don't want to get like super deep.
Do
but
it.
I feel like we just feel there's always a status. You're always trying to put yourself at a certain level or higher level. So you're always trying to tear somebody else down, which is the worst thing to do, really, because good people and people who are successful lift others up around them. But these are just all, and I hate to say it this way, but a lot of losers just sitting behind a keyboard with nothing better to do and no self-esteem and thinking that that's real life for them, And I think we all know this. I think that most people use social media for the right reasons. They use it like to catch up with family on Facebook, or to just kind of scroll through and see what people are talking about, knowing this may not be the truth. I'm probably getting one side of the story from this person and one side from that person, but most people use it for that, I think. But we only hear from the crazies. It's like the fringe on each side. That's all we hear from. And that's the part that's, I think, most frustrating, is those people aren't our neighbors. They're not the average people that we see every day or work with, or those aren't the normal people. And we start to look at everybody as the other side instead of our neighbors or normal people.
No, it's true. We pay more attention, I think, and I was guilty of this. I pay more attention to some slap on social media than I did walking around my own neighborhood talking to who lives next to me.
I'm so glad you took a break from Twitter.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you gave so much energy to some
jackasses.
Dorks. Like, no, like, we use stupid words, dorks. Like, who used to say
Well, you do every day.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Hey, dork.
But, you were kind of getting wrapped up in that and giving them the attention that, they probably had 4 followers. But then after you retweeted it, they might have had some traction.
They might have 10.
Yes,
all
exactly.
Right. Politics. I went off today because I want to know, when are we going to get real people in our offices?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm looking at this guy, Beto O'Rourke, whose real name is like Robert Francis O'Rourke, right? He changes his name. He goes by a new name. He doesn't do that because that's who he thinks he is. He does that to pander to votes. And Ted Cruz said something like, well, you can't win as a liberal, so you got to change your name to Beto and then hide it behind a smile. When are we just going to get real people to become our politicians and care about us as real people?
I don't know if I never paid attention my whole entire life to politicians. I just kind of let it happen and or if it's just getting so bad and they're getting so crooked that now I have to see it.
You have to. It's thrown in your face.
It's so obnoxious. I think it's time. I think it's time that regular people, and I think you're starting to see it on like school boards and local stuff, where normal people who maybe have no experience are just speaking up and running for positions on these boards, because that's where they can have an effect. And I think you have to start there. I think you have to start there and worry about your own community and worry about your school system and whatever influence you can have there, because we do need normal people. You said your dad was a lobbyist, but I feel like once money got really involved and all the lobbying and then changing, laws for these lobbyists, and things are just crooked. There's always a reason, there's always a backstory of why a politician has a certain stance.
They're always a backstory
Always.
on the stance, and it's always pandering. And I just like
Yeah.
to see somebody say, "Look, this is the way it is." Like I said earlier today, if I become mayor, by the way, if I do become mayor of Indianapolis,
Yeah,
you okay with being first lady?
I am.
I think
but
you should be the mayor, and I would be the greatest cheerleader husband in the history of the world. I'll tell you that right now.
I think I would hate that job,
Yeah,
though.
it'd be awful.
I'm not a politician, but we need change. Like, we need somebody that can.
One thing I wouldn't allow is rioting.
No.
I mean,
no.
you want peacefully protest, that's fine, but we live in Indianapolis, and we live downtown Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And, you can call it a peaceful protest if you'd like. I got video of guys throwing things through windows, graffiti everywhere on monuments, and our businesses haven't come back. Black, white, doesn't matter.
Right.
Those businesses have not come back. Indianapolis is a shithole. So I'm not allowing it. I get passionate about this. It's where we live. It's a complete dump. And everybody told us, well, just wait. Wait for what? An absentee mayor that that has his head up his ass half the time?
Yeah. I mean,
We need people to protect those that pay taxes.
That's right.
Like, if you pay taxes and you're a business, and you're generating income for the freaking cities, why are you just allowed to be looted and lose your business? Hey, no one's saying don't peacefully protest. No one's saying that there aren't rights that can be wronged by people standing up. But a freaking what'd we see? Right through Harry and Izzy's. Guy took off the street sign and fired it right through.
Yeah.
That's not peaceful protest. That's crap. And that's what needs to be protected. Sorry, I lost my mind.
No, and I feel like the people who do that type of damage are the ones that really aren't intending to just go protest. They probably have no idea what's going on.
They
They just see a
They
mob.
just show
and-
up to be a
and
mob
go nuts.
mentality.
Yeah.
That has to be stopped.
I
That
agree.
has to be prosecuted. That has to be stopped. And I'm just going, I'm telling you, I would stand right at Memorial or whatever the hell it's called, Monument Circle downtown and say, we ain't doing it here.
Right.
We just are not. You want to do it? We ain't doing it in my city. I just think that we need that. I think it's crap that we don't have. That's just common sense.
It's strong leadership is what it is.
Yes.
And we don't have that. Yeah.
Why do we let, you have a story about Michigan, about a gun store where people, the community got around the gun store to protect the gun store because there were people coming in from other cities to protest this guy and burn him down. And they're like, wait, you're not even from here. You don't even know.
Right.
That is wrong. That's garbage.
Right.
You're from where good people.
Well, I'm a rule follower.
And again, this isn't black, white, Republican, or Democrat. It's just people helping people.
Right.
That's it. It's freaking nuts. Were you going to grab my leg down there?
No. And that right there is that your announcement speech right there?
No, it's not. But I think it'd be a pain in the ass. But it's just
It would be.
There's no common sense. There's just freaking no common sense. And you know what we do? This whack job on this side and this whack job on that side. We cater to these.
Cater. Yeah.
Cater, pander. We pander, cater.
Yeah.
To these
pander
idiots.
first, then cater.
Yes. And we bring food.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to talk a little bit of sports here with the lovely Leigh Ross Dakich. And if you're mad that we call her lovely, shut up. I want to hear it. She's lovely.
Isn't it funny? So Allison was on before me. Who else was on earlier?
Bobby Carpenter.
Oh, Bobby. And then who was on yesterday? The ladies love Dan.
They do.
We get you. We do.
Jill Savage. Women get me. Some idiot professor gets mad because she's whacked out.
Yeah.
But women get me.
That's not real women.
Hey, if you look me up, by the way, I'm a misogynist according to USA Today. I think a racist.
Misogynist.
Probably sexist.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Am I sexist?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Because that's what I looked for in a man when I was, looking to get remarried. I was looking.
Yes, and you did not have any options looking the way that you do. You had none. You had zero options, and you had to settle for the glory that is this. Honest to God. No, hey, but all right, let's get into some sports a little bit.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Leigh's daughter, Tegan, is a stud third base woman at Harvard. Her son, Jared, played football at Wabash College and then Allegheny College. When you see women's sport right now, particularly softball, what are you seeing?
Oh, so the changes in softball and women's softball are
the popularity is through the roof.
Unbelievable.
It's great.
And you gotta give that to actually ESPN was the first one on
Absolutely.
that sport that said, we got to put this up because it is a fun sport to watch. It really is. And I know, some of the, Coach Hutchins at Michigan was one of the pioneers of women's softball. So she never really had the opportunity to play in these types of
Right.
stadiums.
Neither did you.
No, right. We just went out there to play because we loved playing. I mean, and that was it. And we never really expected anything. I mean, I remember I got one pair of socks to wear, and for equipment. It wasn't like basketball, even back in the
we were
80s,
divas.
90s. Yeah, we were divas. But the way that it's changed, and I do think that TV had a lot to do with it. I think that just putting it on TV, and then the amount of people that started getting invested in the sport. It's baseball, but quicker. It's faster, so you get all the people who like
Condensed.
baseball.
It's loud.
Yeah, it's loud. It's
Yeah.
quick. It's and the girls or the women that play are completely into the game. I always think I love college sports. I used to love it a lot more when money really wasn't an issue, because I feel like the passion of just playing really kind of it would shine through, and that's what people wanted to see, was the passion.
I agree.
And you see that with women's softball. You see, the cheering on the side, the high five. These girls know there's really not much for them after to play.
In terms of playing.
They're going to get a college degree and go and do their lives. But as far as playing, there's really not much more after that. There's some leagues, but it's more for the moment. And I think that's really what kind of caught the audience, and just the caliber of competition, the way it's grown.
Can I brag for just a second? The caliber of woman playing at Harvard softball is incredible. They've been in this house.
Yeah.
They've gotten loose in this house, but they're a blast in this house. Remember when they high-fived each other because on a Friday night when we were taking them all to dinner, they had to go finish. Hey, Leigh, I can finish my term paper tonight. What the hell is that? Supposed to be at the disco.
Well, the thing that I appreciate, and I don't think I really appreciated it when I was coaching. I was like, coaching at Syracuse, that's a pretty good academic school. But I never appreciated or even knew that Ivy League schools don't give scholarships. This is all, you're going to get to that school based on your academics, your volunteer work, your community service, all of that. You're going to, test scores, all that stuff. You're going to get to those schools first. They're not going to give you money to play. So these girls are out there playing because they absolutely love the sport. And you think about, when we talk about, Tegan's friends, they're all so brilliant, and they're going to be doctors, and they're going to be whatever. But they take their softball just as serious. And they're not getting paid for it. I think that's the thing I appreciate about it, so much. They are in the libraries. They live at study tables. So I don't think I ever studied in college as much as these guys do in a week.
4-point student.
No, until I found.
Till you found party on
beer.
Parkside, baby. A pool table in the house. But no, look, I'm a big, and obviously Leigh is, we're big advocates for women's sports. I think women's sports is growing. And when I watch volleyball, man, the Big Ten is the best volleyball conference. My niece Emily Eamon is one of the best volleyball, what'd you say, commentators?
Up and coming commentator, yeah,
social
absolutely.
media. So we follow it. She played at Northwestern, and I don't know. I just think what we're seing is not a revolution. I wouldn't call it a revolution. I would just see an expansion, a growth, right, of women's sport.
Definitely, all across the board. And it's just the updates and facilities, that helps girls or women recruit. It's just been kind of cool to see that athletic departments are actually putting money towards sports other than football and basketball. And, you don't expect the same amount. I know as a college coach, I knew my role. I knew when I was a softball coach, I wasn't, people weren't buying tickets to come to my games. We don't have these athletes that are going to bring people to the school, but to be able to at least get more and more as far as facilities and equipment and things like that. That was huge. I think once athletic directors started doing that, actually funding these programs. As far as SEC schools, they get funded in sports like softball way better than, an Ivy League school or Syracuse.
The most amazing, there's been really in my lifetime 2 great coaching feats. One, when I left West Virginia, John Beeline within 3 years had him in the Elite Eight. West Virginia when I was there was a mess. And the other is after going to Syracuse, and in the Northwest, where only Northeast, and only you say the weather is, quote, pristine. Every other human being knows the weather in Syracuse is freaking god-awful. She says it's pristine. And seeing the facilities that they have there, which are absolute garbage. Leigh takes her team within like one inning to go to the College World Series and beating Arizona State at Arizona State. Those are the two of the greatest coaching things that I've ever seen in my life. And it's good to see, because that means that softball programs, you had what was a traditional kind of, we have a batting cage,
Yeah, very, very, very limited.
That's not what is there now. And it's good to see the increase, the enhancement of facilities.
Exactly. When you start winning, then you kind of get more. But when I took that job, I was promised a lot of things that would happen.
I mean, that's, I promised you a lot of things. You're sitting in a basement talking in front of on the internet.
I mean, but really, that just came down to, I was a really good recruiter, and I didn't know any better that I didn't have what I needed to get to the World Series. I didn't really know.
Yeah.
We were talking about this last night. I'm glad I was a little naive when I first started coaching, because I thought I could compete against anybody, as far as softball. Give me bats, balls, let's go,
Just because.
I got a huge recruit, and then other recruits followed. And that's what it all came down to. You get kids that'll buy into a program, you get the right people in the right place, and that's what I love about sports. That's what I love about college sports. Is that on any given day, one team can beat another team. You see that in March Madness all the time.
Saw it last night. At number 4 team in the country. We were watching Seton Hall beat Michigan.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to go. You're awesome. Give me a hug.
Thanks.
Oh, we can. That's today's show. It's pretty good. Remember, the hot takes of the day we've already had. And before I let you all go, Leigh, tonight we're going to win a lot of money. We're going to be moving uptown because Indiana is going to win by double digits over St. John's. Book it. And Michigan State is going to beat the living hell out of Butler. And that's only a 2-point spread. That's a DoorDash bet tonight, baby. Hey, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Leigh.